Hey there, this is Tom Crandall from Gear Mashers, and today we're taking a look at the Wahoo KICKR Run. This is a legit treadmill. It's commercial grade, pretty awesome. So I've had a lot of people ask me, they've seen it in the garage gym or just other places, and they're like, hey, how is this treadmill? And I have to say, it's pretty awesome. It's legit. A lot of the things that they did with the treadmill are sort of unique, in my opinion, based on other treadmills I've run on. So I want to walk through those. And first, I guess, I want to start with the negatives rather than wait until the end. And then we'll talk about all the really cool things with the treadmill. So to begin with, the treadmill price at $7,000, that might be way too much for a lot of people. So if you don't want to spend $7,000, you might as well just sort of jump off at this point because that's what you're looking at retail price for this. And actually, you will be paying for shipping as well. So it's more than $7,000 you're going to be paying for shipping. But the cool part with the shipping is they will actually, at least the shippers that I use when I got this, will build the treadmill. And it is sort of a pain to build. So having someone be able to do that, sort of nice. The second negative is the weight of the treadmill. It makes it hard if you want to move it. And realistically, wherever you're going to put it, that's probably where it's going to stay. I can't imagine you really moving it around too much. Sort of like over here, I have my Rogue Rack. I'm not going to be moving this sucker around at all. It's got 600 pounds of weighted stack, so I'm not going to be moving that. So same thing here with the treadmill. The weight is just super heavy. That also means that it's going to be very stable. It's commercial grade treadmill. Which is really nice. I don't think a lot of people would have this on the second floor. So realistically, looking to put it in the garage or maybe a room on the first floor would probably be your best bet just because of that. Another negative is the treadmill doesn't come with a monitor right out of the box. So for those that, want to have a monitor here, like a glass monitor, you're going to be disappointed with the treadmill because you're going to have to buy a TV or maybe an iPad or something like that to be able to see a lot of your statistics as you're running, or maybe use like Zwift or something. So that's an extra cost that you're going to have to do with this treadmill. And so that might be another negative. Now, I will talk about that on the positive side when I talk about all the different positives of the treadmill. Other than that, realistically, the treadmill is just a really nice, solid piece of equipment. So on to the positives. There's a lot of positives, I think, with this treadmill. First off, it's belt driven. It's not like ones that have slots. There's a lot of treadmills out there that have the slots or feel a little cushy. This one feels like you're running on hard, packed dirt, more or less. It has a nice feel to it, and the belt moves really nice. So all in all with that, it's really good. And they did some really cool things as far as they really thought about, as a runner, not just someone who just gets on the treadmill just to get on a treadmill, but as someone who runs, having paddles here that are easy to grab onto and press makes things a lot nicer rather than having a touch screen, which again, they don't have on here. And so with the paddles, you have the speed on the right-hand side and you have the elevation on the left. Now the treadmill will go up to 15 degrees, which is pretty cool, and then also down to -3 degrees. So depending on what kind of work you're going to do, that's a nice deviation between the 15 degrees and the -3. The treadmill will also work with programs like Zwift. So with Zwift, you have this virtual world that you can run in. And I believe, I haven't tried it, but I believe the treadmill will adjust the elevation as you're seeing it on screen, just like they do with their KICKR bike. With the KICKR bike, they also added resistance. And so as you're going or seeing on screen, going up, the KICKR bike will also make it harder, which is pretty cool. With the treadmill, I think it's just the elevation. So that's something cool. Now, the reason why Wahoo decided not to have an integrated monitor is simply because the monitors can fail. That's just an extra component on a treadmill that could fail on you. And so they were sort of thinking, why have a monitor when you can buy a flat screen TV, a really big flat screen TV, and then be able to, use that as your monitor? And that to me makes sense, but it does mean that you're going to have to pay more than just the $7,000 plus shipping. You're going to actually have to pay for, some type of flat screen TV, which I haven't done. They also have a safety feature on here. So if you are running and for whatever reason you fall off the back, there's a little red button here that pops off, and then that will stop the treadmill, so you won't just have the treadmill keep on running on you. The other nice thing is on the sides here, if you're running really hard and you just want to step off, you can do that. And you got a nice place to put your feet, which is cool. The other feature that I like on here is these railings are really nice to grab onto if needed for whatever reason, which is cool. Now, the one thing that makes this treadmill really unique compared to other treadmills on the market is they have a sensor at the front here. And what the sensor does, and they call this run free or run free mode. And so when it's activated, it senses where you are on the treadmill, and then based on that, it will adjust the speed. So if I'm here on the treadmill, it'll just be at the speed of whatever I started with. But as I run closer to the front, the treadmill is going to speed up. And then as I back off the front, the treadmill is going to slow down. And so what that will allow you to do is free run, basically. You're not limited to setting a speed on the treadmill and then having to adjust the speed. You can adjust it by your pace. And so as you have a faster pace and you get closer to the front, the treadmill is going to speed up. And as you slow your pace down, the treadmill is going to slow down. And it's just a really cool feature, something unique, and it makes it, something that I haven't seen in other treadmills, which is neat. So let me just start off the treadmill here and just show you some things. So to start off with, you have your speed paddle, again, over here on the right. So it just starts off at a nice, easy pace. And then you can do your elevation. So pulling back on the paddle here on the left increases the elevation, and it goes up pretty quick. I set it for 9.5% right here. And so you can see, I'm at 9.5%. And then to go back down, it's pretty intuitive. I just push forward, and that's going to lower it down. And you can set it, or I guess you can have it so that as you click once, it's less. And then if you click a little bit more, it goes down a little bit more. So right now I'm at -2%. So I'll go back up to 0. Okay, so as I increase my speed, so I'm at, let me get it up to a reasonable pace here. So I'm at like a 9. And now I can engage the free run. So I'm going to engage the free run. So now the sensor in the front senses where I am. And so as I get closer to the front, it's going to speed up the treadmill. And then as I start sliding back, it's going to slow it down. And you'll find a sweet spot on the treadmill where you can just go at whatever pace you'd like to go. And then again, as I sort of slow, I can jump off here, and then the treadmill will stop. I also have a big stop button here as well. So if I need to, for whatever reason, I can hit that and the treadmill will slow down. Or I have my red button here. I could pop that off and the treadmill will also slow down or stop. Pretty cool treadmill. And for most people that are looking for something unique and are runners, I really feel like this is designed more for runners, even though you can use it for other stuff. If you're serious about running, this is definitely a treadmill to check out. So anyway, thank you so much for watching and have a great day. Take care.